Amy, welcome to the Life of KG. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, thank you. Thanks for giving up your time to be with us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So can you introduce yourself and just tell all of our listeners what you do?
Of course, yes. So my name is Amy Nomanton. I've been married 3 years, but that still doesn't roll off the tongue really easily. And I am a clarity and business coach.
Okay, so I'm really interested to kind of dig deep into the whole clarity subject. But before we do that, take me back. What made you start your own business?
So when you say take me back, there was a journey before I was a clarity and business coach. So my first ever business that got me on this journey was in network marketing. And that was all the way back in 2014 when I was expecting our first boy Oliver. And it was something that it was kind of a weird stage in my life. I was 19 and pregnant. We were renovating a new home and I was in this job and I was like, this is not how I expected to have my first baby. I wasn't in this job very long until I found I was pregnant. So I wasn't going to be entitled to maternity pay. I wasn't going to get, that amount of time I wanted with him. And so I went back to an old friend of mine. I was like, look, wherever this opportunity is, I'm in, just, show me a life that I can be the mum I want to be. And that was it. I started in May 2015 and I completely ran with it. And that, I suppose you could say the rest is history. I left my job 6 weeks later, and that was the real start of my entrepreneurial journey. And it was not long after, 15 months later, I had my daughter, still in network marketing. And it was about when she was 2 years old that I realized that she was going to go to preschool. And I wasn't passionate about the products anymore, but I was passionate about business. I was passionate about social media. I was helping small businesses as a favor run their businesses and their social media. And that was when I left and I started this role as a social media manager. And that was the start of the business and clarity coach. So I'll tell you a little bit further on because I know there's more questions to come, but that was the real start of this business in a sense. And it was a big journey. And I know there's a big negative cloud about network marketing, but for me, I look back and I'm so, so grateful because there is no way I'd have learned the things I know now. There's no way I'd have the confidence to go out and do what I wanted to do without it. So for me, it was the stepping stone, but that was the start.
So do you not do network marketing at all anymore?
No, so I started in 2015 and finished in January 2019 when my daughter was going to preschool when she was 2, so I finished then.
Wow. But I guess there is this whole different views on network marketing, but there's so many businesswomen I talk to that started there and it's just taught them how to lead teams, how to network, how to market themselves. So there is so much that you can learn from it, isn't there?
100%. And it's the mindset side of network marketing as well, because network marketing is a very American industry originally. They're very big on their affirmations and the law of attraction and manifestation. And that was the first time I was introduced to all of that within network marketing. And again, I wouldn't have been able to even survive the hard days in my business without the strategies and the tactics and the tools they've given me from network marketing that I just carried through my other businesses. So yeah, 100%.
And did you have the whole being off with babies and spend all that time after maternity? Did you have that than what your job at the time could give you?
Yes. So I started in May 2015 and 6 weeks later, I'd left that job. So I quadrupled my income. And the one thing I always remember my mentor saying to me, who's still a good friend of mine, was, Amy, make a goal board. And I was like, I don't see anything more powerful than this baby kicking me in the ribs every single day, saying, get up and work on your business. It was like my pregnancy coming to the end was a bit of a ticking time bomb as well, because you can't stop a pregnancy. You know, it's coming on, like there's a due date. So it was like, right, okay, so I need to be in this certain financial situation by the time he arrives. And that was my biggest kick up the bum ever, because I knew we were renovating our first home. I knew I wanted, I've always, my mum and dad have always said, I've always wanted this lifestyle, but I've always had a lemonade wage, is that the saying? But I wanted more, and I wanted more for our family. So yeah, it kept me going. And I was full-time network marketing, or full-time mum, I suppose you could say, ever since.
I love that. So what was then the turning point from doing all of them things and the network marketing to then starting your own mentoring and coaching business?
So I left network marketing in 2019, and I remember thinking, you know, I've done social media for all these businesses for free. So I changed it into a business. I became a social media manager. And I was fully booked from the get-go. I was really grateful, you know, very fortunate. And a lot of them clients were network marketers who had side hustles, traditional businesses. And it grew and grew and grew. And then lockdown came. Amazing COVID came and blew everything out of the water. So I had to pivot my business really quick, because my clients were PTs, they were aesthetic nurses, they were traditional businesses that needed consumers to come to their homes, travel, and come into their premises. And obviously lockdown stopped all that happening. So we kind of had this agreement where I said, look, we'll cut your contract. If you're not making an income, I don't expect you to keep paying me. And I thought, the kids are off 24/7. I need to do something to keep my business going, keep this income coming in. But there was this one point when my husband said to me, like, Aim, it's absolutely fine. He's a key worker, so he kept working. He said, it's absolutely fine if you just want to take on this full-time role now as mum, because the kids aren't in school. Do their work with them in the day, you know, daily walks, all these things. And just let your business, you know, put it to a side if this is the way it's going. And I'll take care of us. And I just remember cutting him short and going, we're not doing that, because if I stop my business now, there is no way I'll be able to get it started again. And we didn't know how long lockdown was going to be. So I pivoted and I started a membership within this social media business for women entrepreneurs that wanted to keep their social media going, but couldn't afford to pay someone full time. So it was just £24 a month. And we filled it really fast. And for £24 a month, they were getting a lot more than social media support. It became business support. It became daily phone calls, daily Zooms, daily catch-ups. It was everything that involved a business coach doing. And I just remember looking at my goal board, and I had business coach for 2022/23. And I thought, this is the universe pushing me in this direction. And July 2020, I just said, right, it's time to do it. And I did overnight. I completely transformed my business. I changed my website, and it wasn't something that was built into a launch that I was going to do. I just thought, I'm just going to switch up and go, this is what I'm doing now. And very grateful again. It went really, really well. And something I believe in is the fact that because of my journey in the businesses I'd been in, I'd warmed up my audience for that point, if that makes sense. So all the clients that kind of come out of the woodwork to have my support, that had gone from paying £24 a month from working with me, or £300 for a package, were happy to pay £1,500 to work with me because they'd seen my journey as well. And that was basically how Business and Clarity Coach started, I suppose we could say.
Wow, I love that. Well done for pivoting and just keep going, because it was so easy, especially in that time. It was so difficult, COVID, wasn't it? It feels like a million years ago now. Like, it's so weird.
It feels like a film, doesn't it?
I know, it's absolutely insane. I do look back and think, how the hell did we all get through that? But it was so hard for everyone mentally, and then businesses was on hold. And there was so many businesses that did stop trading, that, you know, completely come out of business. And then there was other side of business owners that were like, no, pivoting, carried on, changed direction, and it really paid off. And a lot of them businesses, it was like the best thing that ever happened. So really, like, as much as COVID was awful, it, you know, it was a bittersweet, wasn't it?
It was 100%. And a lot of the clients that worked with me in that original membership were those that ran traditional businesses that had that, again, that hit from the universe that, okay, we're going to have to go online now. But that's the way the world was going anyway, that everything is online. It just, COVID kind of brought it forward that much quicker, didn't it?
Definitely. What kind of services do you offer now then? Do you still do a membership? Do you not? Like, what does your program look like?
So it probably took me about 3-4 months of doing just one-to-one coaching alongside my social media membership for me to close the doors on that. So I'm fully clarity and business coach now. I don't have any other memberships to do with my other social media business. So the service I have now is one-to-one coaching, which is 12 weeks. I have a group coaching, I have a 1-off hour call, and then something I call a clarity club, where it's just £59 a month and they get one-to-one call with me a month. So it's something there for everybody then, because I still want to work with those women that were like me at the very beginning, that was like, I know I need to do something here, but what do I do? But I haven't got £1,500, £2,000 to pay a coach to work with them, but I know I need that support. So I've tried to really bridge the gap to still allow myself to work with those women and help them as well.
Yeah, I love that. That's very similar to what I do. Obviously, I'm not a clarity coach. I coach in different areas, so we don't clash whatsoever. But I have my one-to-one, then I have my yearly program, then I have my membership. So those that don't want to invest like as much, like it's about offering packages so you can still try and help everyone that wants your support, isn't it?
Exactly. I think that's the way it should be, because we've all started there as well, haven't we? We've all been there. And I could never become a coach, and this isn't a dig to anybody, but me personally, I could never become a coach where I solely rely on high ticket clients. I really want to work with the women that are just starting out and have that fire in their tummy, because that gets me hyped up as well. I really enjoy that part.
And I feel for me as well, because I have coaches, I feel that everyone should have coaches, but sometimes when you see a glimpse of someone on social, for example, because that's where most of us get found nowadays, you think, oh wow, you look at their life, you look at what they're teaching, but you still need to build that trust. So going on something that's more low ticket builds that for then, you know, they might want to stay on that, or they might want to progress into a one-to-one. So it just gives that whole trust building as well, I think, offering a bit of everything rather than just high ticket clients.
Exactly. And one of my first ever one-to-one clients, and she's in my clarity club now, a lady, Hannah, she won't mind me saying, she started off with me in the membership, £24 a month. She came on board with my one-to-one services after what she'd seen for £1,500. And then after the 12 weeks, she joined my group group coaching, which was £300 a month. And then now she's feeling that, you know, she's got all the support she needs. She only needs to go down to one a month now, which is awesome. So she's in my clarity club, and you can see with the price ranging, it go from £24 all the way up to £1,500, and that's because the trust that built up in between. And it says a lot, doesn't it?
It really, really does. Obviously, like you've mentioned clarity a few times, you say you're a clarity coach. All of us, like coaches, have different roles to play in people's businesses. Yeah. Can you explain more? I bet you get this question all the time, but what does clarity actually mean?
Clarity, it can be different to a lot of women in business. So to break it down, clarity for me, when I hear that word, or when I hear somebody talking, I just go, you need clarity. To describe that ideal client for me, it's someone that they have a business, but they're stuck in that business. They don't know what they're meant to be doing daily. They're overwhelmed with their surroundings. So like I said, social media, they're seeing all these women progress. They're seeing all these women, I say women because they're my ideal clients, doing big things in their business and their life, but they know they're capable of doing the same, but they don't know how they're supposed to move to the next level. So the best thing for me is clearing the fog. So daily structure, so daily plan of attack, daily structure, your strategies, your marketing and your self-talk as well. A lot of that comes into it. And then your systems. So when I break everything back with my clients, so for me, it's the brain fog, it could be overwhelm, lack of confidence, it could be all of those things. And for me, when it comes to working with a client, it's about breaking everything back. And I'll go, right, tell me why you love your business. Tell me what made you start your business. And tell me what you're struggling with in your business now. And we strip it all back and we find that, I like to say, one light switch that once we get to it, we'll go, right, that's it. That is what is holding you back. And it could be negative self-talk. It could be that they don't have structure or they're not organized. Maybe it could be something as silly sometimes just to get started. If somebody doesn't have a workspace, they're working from the kitchen counter, they're working from a coffee shop or from their phone on the go. And I'm like, you're not feeling organized or structured or even important in your business because you're not giving it a place to flow. You're not giving yourself that place. And you can see I'm getting like worked up. It's something I'm really passionate about. And we find that one thing and we go, right, that's what we're working back from. And that's when we start to clear the path, clear the fog, and we put things in place that allows them to work more focused. It allows them to look at their business from a clearer point of view, and then daily they know what they're doing. And I see business coaches, and I tried to do it myself at one point because I know my clients were getting more clients themselves. They were building their income, and I tried to be like, do you want more money in your business? And advertised it that, but it never stuck right with me, and I never felt comfortable marketing myself like that. So I thought, well, I help my clients find clarity, and that stuck then for me. That was the word. And it does help them grow their business, and it does help them bring in more money because we're being more structured. They find in pockets of time to either have more time for themselves or bring in more clients. So it does in turn bring in more of an income, but it all starts in your mind, doesn't it? And that's what we try and clear away. Yeah. Clear space, clear mind, happy business, I suppose you could say.
Yeah, definitely. Because business is so overwhelming, and especially when you're new in business as well, you just need that direction of where to go, what you need to be doing. And I hear all the time about like structure when it comes to day. Otherwise, when there's like so much you feel like you need to conquer all day, every day, you end up getting nothing done at all. Whereas if you have that clear path and that clarity, I'm going to use that word, I love it. Like, you know what you're doing, you get so much more done.
Yeah, you do. And a lot of it comes down to as well is that self-motivation and that self-discipline as well. Because if you go work in an office, you know that your boss is going to be walking around, or someone's going to be nearby that will be like, well, she hasn't typed on a laptop for ages, or she hasn't printed anything, whatever it is. But if you're sat in your own home and you haven't maybe got a space, you're not going to be productive with your time because nobody's in the background to go crack on with work or get stuff done. And I like to say that I'm that person with them. If they want me to be that person, I will be there. Like, right, how are you getting on with that content we talked about and those ideas or those brain dumps? How are you getting on with today's plan of attack? And I'll be that person if they need me to be, because I struggled not having that for a very long time. My husband was like, well, you can get some washing done today then if you're quiet. And I'm like, no, I've got other things to be doing if I'm not doing calls. And my parents, their background's RAF, so they're very regimented and black and white. You go to university or you go out and find a job somewhere else. So they have no idea how my daily structure should look like working from home. So I had to go out and find someone that could tell me how I stay on top of things that has done it and got the t-shirt.
Definitely. Could you give our listeners maybe like 3 tips on how they can gain more clarity within their business?
Of course, yes. So you've heard me just say it as well, brain dumping. We probably hear it a lot on social media. Brain dumping, I find, is so useful. I love that.
Imagine.
I feel like everyone has one. Brain dumping is so important. I do it every morning when I get up if I'm feeling overwhelmed, and I do it every evening before going to bed, just to clear off maybe sometimes like the rubbish from the day. So I will brain dump anything that is still weighing on me that day that needs to be done tomorrow. And then in the morning I'll wake up and I'll go, right, let's look at last night's brain dump, and then look at what I can pull from that needs to be done today. And that can help you make your days more structured. And I always say Sunday evening's the best time, but as a mum, I've got uniform, I've got packed lunches. So Sunday evening isn't the best time for me. I normally say my last working day of the week is a Thursday. So Thursday, before I pick the kids up from school, is when I do my next week's tasks. So I don't go for Sunday evening. Sunday evening, I look over it. I'll have a quick look over it. I know what I'm doing this week. Awesome. So brain dump. And keep coming back to it if things you don't feel are ticked off. Another top tip is, of course, systems. I've spoken to so many women in business, and they've said in one way or another, my business isn't big enough for me to have systems yet. And I want to shake them, because I used to think that. I used to think, well, there's only me and a couple of clients, we're working along fine, nothing's gone wrong, it's fine. But what happens when things pick up pace? What happens when maybe you're unwell or you're away, or does your business just switch off if you're not available? You need those systems, one, to clear your brain, because everything's done for you. You do the work once, or you hire someone to do it for you. And two, you want things to be ticking over in the background, which means you're freeing up more time to, one, stay in your zone of genius, or two, take time out for you, your family, do things, self-care, self-development, whatever it may be. That will allow you to have clarity, because if you were continuously working in and on your business, when are you going to find time to take that breather that will allow you to come back to work stress-free? And that is so important. And it just means that, for me, it used to be, right, I've got this new client, I'll write up this contract with her name and all this information in it. Right, what's your email? Email it over. And it was like, it's too much. And now I need a e-signature. So I'll go to DocuSign. It's too much. Get the systems, get them set up from the get-go. Don't have to worry about them again. And then the next one for me has always been having a plan. If you know what you're doing daily, you know how your next day is going to look. So if you look at the end of the day and go, right, okay, so I've managed to get all this done. Tomorrow I know this is what I'm doing next. And the best way to have those lists, and to start with those lists if you sat there with overwhelm, is to strip your business back. And I don't mean delete everything, scrap your social media, delete the systems. I mean, write your business down and how everything works in a form of a workflow on a piece of paper. And it may be the case of you're overwhelming your audience as well. Because as women, we feel the need to tend to everybody and take care of everybody and attend to everyone. So I've got a lot of clients that came to me and they had services for this person and that person, and they wanted to help that person in this industry, and they were working for everybody. So they were overwhelmed with their audience when it came to looking at their services. So strip everything back to basics, and look what is, one, serving you most purpose, serving your clients most purpose, and is in most alignment with you and your values and your goals, and go from there. There's no need to add arms and legs to everything. I feel like we overwhelm everything too much and think too much into it. Just strip it all back and go from there. Back to basics is the best thing you can ever do if you're overwhelmed.
It's really funny that you said about that last point and like overwhelming your audience, because I think we overwhelm ourselves and then we add this service, that service, more services. Like it just becomes like this never-ending list. You don't know what the hell you're doing, and then your audience are like, what does she even do? Like there's just so much. Like, and I had that exact conversation this morning, and it's just so much more freeing when there's less and you can build on what you've got. And then the people looking inside that might become clients know exactly what you do. It's so much more simpler.
It is 100%. And we feel the need to have all these services because we want to help as many people as possible. But I think we're one person at the end of the day. If you are a one-woman band, you still have to take care of number one, because for me as well as a mum, if I'm at my lowest and I'm not feeling myself, my clients don't get the best of me, and my children don't, and my husband and my family. So if I'm trying to cater to everybody's needs, we're going to burn out. So we need to strip it back and just focus on what's important and what's serving the most value.
What would you say, like, your clients that you're currently with right now? I know everyone's slightly different, but what is the biggest thing that your clients struggle with? Is there one thing in particular?
Overthinking has to be one of the biggest one. It is the biggest one, and it's, again, everything we spoke about in this call has come into it one way or another with one of my clients, and that's why I use the words clarity, because it does come all under that roof. And when you're overthinking, it helps so much in having someone there, and they've come to me and I'm going, well, you're overthinking it, so let's write this all down, let's look at this all individually, put things into boxes, categorize them, and we'll open the box one call at a time. We'll work through them, and then we'll go, right, well, it doesn't sound like you even are bothered about this. Why are we even looking at this? Right, let's take that off the table. And that's what it is. It's trying to tend to everyone. It's overthinking then what we're left with, or they are left with, I should say. And that's when they just step back, and then they get back into their shell, they hide into the rock. Then you see them less on social media, because what do I talk about? There's so many things going around my head. I have nothing to say for content. Do I talk about this? It unravels and it goes wild. And I think I know it starts with overthinking, and then the overwhelm sets in, and then they're unsure of what their next step is. They need clarity.
No, I love that. And I completely agree. I bet a lot of it comes down to overthinking. It's like the worst thing ever. But why are you overthinking everything? Like, I get that with my clients as well, definitely.
Yeah.
When I've been like finding out more about you as a person, and obviously you sent over your bio, which will be in the show notes, a lot of it's obviously extremely clear that your goal and everything in life is your children, like your babies. It's your boy and your girl, isn't it?
Yeah, too.
Yeah. How do you find running a business alongside children?
I'd say it's much easier now. They're both in school, 1,000,000%. Lockdown was probably the biggest challenge, but day-to-day life, and I'll say this no matter, who I'm talking to or what I'm doing, even my clients, because they have to understand that I'm a mum first and a business owner second. I got into the entrepreneurial world to allow me to have that freedom to be that mum at the school gates. And they're on a school trip today, they have to be in an hour earlier, and you have to be picking up an hour later. If I was in a full-time job, I wouldn't be able to do that. So as long as that they need me, I'll have my business. And it's allowing us to live the life we want. And of course, my husband is a massive contributor to our lifestyle and the kids' lives and that as well. But everything stems from being that family unit, and we work hard for our children and to give them the best life. And it doesn't just come down to money though, it's that other side of it for me, where they can go, well, mum set her mind to something and she did it, or mum was in this situation where she couldn't go out, or she was told she couldn't do something, but she found a way to do it anyway, and this is what she wanted, and she set her mind to it. That mindset thing I never really grew up with, and I really want the children to grow up thinking, well, if you set your mind to it, you can do it. And I know I keep saying it, but we do our affirmations every morning on the way to school, even though as much as my son hates it at the moment, and he goes, I am fast, I am strong, like that. I know it'll do them so well when they're older. And yeah, it does. It all stems back to the children and being able to do it for them, and to show them we can do whatever we want to do.
Do you find it quite easy to switch off business and then mummy life, or do you find that quite difficult?
I do find it quite difficult, and social media has a massive part to play in that, because my audience engages more in the evenings. But I suppose my audience are mums, and mums in business. The kids have gone to bed, so I'm there back on my phone, posting, engaging. When we go away though, we go away quite a lot, even if it's like a staycation, the caravan. I'm also with my phone. My phone, I'm hardly looking at it. I've gotten really good at that. There's been plenty of nights where I've been out for a late meeting or I'm on a late call, and there's been times where my son or daughter have been like, oh, but I want mum to put me to bed. And it's reminding them that I put you to bed 6 nights this week, the one evening Mammy has to work. And over the years, they've understood that Mammy's doing this for a reason. And they're really good with in and out, in all fairness. And I've had to teach them and show them that Mammy just doesn't lounge around the house because they see their dad with his work van going to work. They're like, well, Mammy, why can't you just go shopping today? And I'm like, no, Mammy does actually work. And it's taken them a long time to understand that. And I've gotten really good at switching off when we're away, but when we're in like a home environment, I still find it quite difficult. But I think everybody's the same. I don't think it should be a guilt thing. I think everybody's the same right now.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I travel and stuff quite a lot as well, and that's my like relaxed time, just with family, like really need that time. But when I'm at home, I'm so focused on the business, and then obviously like there's the kids as well. But I will always do school runs, pickups, like I will always have that freedom for them, because like you, I've created that, and that was so important. Yeah. But then now, like my little girl especially, I'll put her to bed at 7. So from school run till 7 o'clock, it's just about us, like, and family and dinner and bath and story and all of that jazz. Yeah. And then I'll put her to bed at 7. She'll be like, Mummy, have you got a call now? And I'll be like, yeah. And if she knows I've got a call, she won't go to sleep. Like, and I'm like, what? I said, I do my calls at night, so we don't have to interrupt our time. Just go to sleep. If you're just joining, I'm like, oh my days. We structure it around them, but then they still want to be involved.
Yeah. And I will admit, I've literally just moved my office around because of the window, but it was there. And I've got the door there, and I was on a call with one of my clients, and the kids had teacher training. And I was like, right, look, I fed you, you're fine, you're settled. I just need 45 minutes. That's all I need. So I was on my call. Next minute, I just saw the door open at the side of my face. And luckily, she's my VA as well. So we're it's very informal. And I went, they're in here, aren't they? And I looked, and I just got pelted with Nerf bullets. And I just thought, oh, this is my life now. And she got 2 boys as well. I've got one girl. And she just found it hysterical. And I was like, stop laughing, you'll keep going. So you as long as your clients understand, there are going to be times where, you're going to have to juggle, and you're going to have to try and find a way to do both. But there are going to be days where you're pulling your hair out. I'm not saying it's all amazing. Oh my gosh, I do all the school runs, and like I look like I've got dragged through a hedge backwards the way I take them to school, and then I look like a different person picking them up. But that comes hand in hand with what we've chosen for our lives, isn't it? And I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah, no, me neither. Oh, I love that. It's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you more, and I'm sure people listening to this have helped gain more clarity on their business just even listening to your tips. So thank you very, very much. How can people connect with you?
On Instagram is my best place to find me. It's just Amy Nomanton, my full name.
Amazing. So if people go and check that out, then you can connect with Amy. Thank you for giving up your time today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I've enjoyed it, and it's been nice to talk to another mum in business that I haven't met yet. So thank you so much.
It's very, very important.
It is. That sanity is very important.
Definitely.